goodness, what a overwhelming experience being around so many people caring about our planet, caring about making a lot of money in the process of saving it. The companies, the passion, the activists, the governments. How are you guys feeling? It's your first COP ever, and we're just 3 days in for you guys, right? Tell me your reflections.
Yeah, this is our third day. I feel great on the third day. I feel like I'm kind of getting the hang of things. This pavilion is huge. Expo City is huge. Dubai has really put together an amazing COP, a very fancy and developed infrastructure for these conversations to happen.
Yeah. I've heard it referenced today as kind of like a circus, kind of like Disney World. And I would say it's a climate-focused Disney World here. Being in the sun all day definitely takes a toll on you, but being around such passionate, motivated, powerful, even people is an incredible experience.
What key messages about nuclear power are being communicated at this COP?
I think there were a few. We just recently went to a panel with several U.S. politicians, two of them being Republican, one of them being a Democrat. And I think the first one that we can really take home in the U.S. is that, nuclear development, nuclear policy is now a bipartisan commitment, which is not something that I think we were confident in previous years. So that was really exciting. And then the second one for me has a lot to do with just a global international pledge to nuclear development, not just the 3 times nuclear, but also the fuel enrichment commitment from several countries is showing that, yes, you signed a piece of paper to triple nuclear, but there's also steps being made to actually make it happen.
Many points today. This has been referred to as the nuclear COP. It is a nuclear renaissance. There are more advocates here for nuclear power, for clean energy generation, than there have ever been before. We have met wonderful people from the government who are completely on board with it, which is revolutionary. It's incredible. And just seeing the support, whether it's people in communications, whether it's people who have a lot of political influence, there is support all across the board, and I'm sure advocates everywhere are so happy to see that.
Eric, which COP is this for you? What number is this?
This is numero 6, as we say in Espanol, or 6 for those of you at home.
How would you compare this COP to your very first COP as a nuclear advocate?
This one's a lot warmer. Food's about as good.
What was the first one?
So my very first COP was COP28 in Paris. And I got a badge under Energy for Humanity to go in the blue zone. And I have a few memories stick out for me. One was this press conference with 4 climate scientists, some of them globally renowned and famous, like Dr. Jim Hansen, Dr. Ken Caldeira, Dr. Carrie Emanuel, Dr. Tom Wigley. And they were making the case that without nuclear, we're not even really addressing the problem. It's already over. We might as well give up. We absolutely need nuclear to solve this climate crisis. And they were pointing out, like, look, we're in Paris right now, where our electricity is actually clean, and we have all those nuclear power stations to thank for that. And they were seen largely as like an oddity, like a freak show, like, can you believe these guys and they're pro-nuclear even though they're, world-famous climate scientists? By some, not all. There was some good media coverage about it. There was also some negativity from people like Naomi Oreskes, who had just written a book how the fossil fuel companies tried to discredit Jim Hansen when he testified to Congress and said global warming is a huge issue, we need to act on it, and they tried to do a character assassination on him. And he was in a movie about that as well, how they hired all the same lobbyists that sowed doubt, and they made a movie about this book about how the same lobbyists that had empowered the tobacco industry to continue selling their killing products was now being used by the fossil fuel industry to sow doubt about climate change. And months after this movie came out, maybe it was a year or two, here's Jim Hansen saying, look, we need nuclear. And this person that this person that followed and wrote about a very, very pivotal moment in his life and put him in a movie said that he was now pushing false solutions and that he was a denier of the true solutions like wind and solar. And man, that pissed me off. I remember meeting a lot of activists that had a very strong kind of degrowth mentality. Like, oh man, humans, we're so greedy, we're so evil. How dare we want to live in homes that are heated, and can't we just throw on a couple more sweatshirts and a couple more sleeping bags? And oh, wait a second, there's like 3 billion people that use less electricity than an American refrigerator. Well, they need to cut back too. And it's just it's such an anti-human perspective. I'll charitably say that a lot of these folks are, because of their privilege, blind to those who don't have energy access and what that means and how horrible it is, especially for women and girls who are relegated to domestic slavery, more or less. Since then, I think there's more of an appreciation for the potential in humans, the human potential that is unlocked by access to reliable, affordable electricity. And that's good. We got to remember, like, yeah, this is about the environment and about other animals, certainly, and the planet and all. We care about that stuff. But we are animals as well, and we need solutions that work for us as animals here. So there's the moral aspect of, like, hey, we live here too. It's not the misanthropic, like, oh, if only humans would just disappear like that, and then finally the earth could heal. It's, it's we're part of this here, and humans are special. And think of all the amazing things we've created and what we've been able to do. And let's give a little respect, even though, hey, yeah, sure, a lot of all this progress has come with a big price tag. So I feel like there's a greater appreciation of that. We've gone from nuclear being a joke at the very least, or maybe an afterthought at the most, to now being a keystone decarbonization technology for at least 20 countries. And I keep hearing about others that want to join this pledge that just didn't get the memo. So that's we've come a long ways, and it's beautiful to have been able to see that arc and see so much hard work by activists like me and you guys making the difference here.
Do you think that the UAE and the Emirates being the host of this COP makes a difference in how nuclear is represented, considering that they do have Baraka providing a little bit or a lot of their electricity?
I think so. Right, the president of the COP is His Excellency El Jaber, president and CEO, massive state-owned oil company. I found out today that he is not supportive of Baraka, and the only reason Baraka happened is because Abu Dhabi and the leadership in that region made it happen. So there's a disconnect within the Emirates about whether or not nuclear is as important as it truly is. But I think the symbolism is undeniable that, hey, this is a nuclear powered COP. I mean, we're getting 25% of the electricity, give or take a little bit, from those power plants. And that's amazing. It's such a good story, as a dozen years ago, empty desert out there, and now you got 1,400 megawatt reactors just pumping electricity into the grid. 3 technically, but 4 very soon, like in the next month or two. Incredible, and what all this has done. I mean, it's on the back of the 1,000 dirham bill. If I could afford one, I'd show you right now, but it's about $300 US. Kirsten, you're among the younger people that are here today. So, and there's a lot of conversation about youth here and the importance of youth perspectives. Explain this event to me, or give me your take on this event and nuclear's position within it from a young person's perspective.
I personally don't think younger people really know what nuclear is. 2 years ago, before I got involved with Generation Atomic, I could not tell you much of anything about nuclear power. I thought that it was bad because I was in the environmental space, and a lot of environmental advocates kind of just pass this information along, like solar, wind, good, nuclear energy, bad. And if you're not hyper-focused on energy, if maybe you're interested in sustainability or plastics or recycling, you're not going to like go out and do your own research, so you just get told that nuclear energy is bad. And having worked with it for 2 years and now being here at COP, it definitely needs to make its way into the youth discussion because it is not there, in my opinion. The older generations know about it because they're scared of it. A lot of them, they've been through some traumatic things that had to do with nuclear science. And while that might not be specifically the civilian nuclear power industry, the whole concept still scares them. And so the need for advocacy is definitely still there. The need for nuclear advocacy at COP could not be more important. But we also have an incredible presence here. We were just at these booths in the Blue Zone. There was every single thing you could think of. Specific countries, specific energy sources, human rights booths, all of that. And the biggest presence, 20 people at least, was at the nuclear booth. They were engaging with the people passing by. They were handing out stickers and pins and information sheets. And it's just so awesome how the industry has been able to mobilize young people especially and give them unique opportunities to come here. A lot of solar and wind and renewable organizations, there's like everyone's running to that boat, that solution. And I think that by being a nuclear advocate, you get unique opportunities that you might not get elsewhere. So it's really, really awesome.
You take it one step farther and speak directly to the people who are watching this video about why they need to volunteer and be a part of this.
In my experience, being part of a NGO, a nonprofit, has taught me things that no class ever could. And that is completely true. They do not really teach you like the nitty gritty about the industry. And if you're entering the industry as a 21, 22-year-old, having never worked with people before, having never networked, dealt with like real issues, you're going to be very far behind because the classes, you could write 100 essays on this and never really see it in action. So being able to work with it, being treated like your opinions matter, like your work matters, that is so important. It builds confidence in young advocates. It makes you better at public speaking. And I would just recommend wholeheartedly getting involved any way you can. There's tons of incredible organizations.
Including this one.
Including this one. Join us. We have so many different ways that you can get involved. And it will benefit you in the future.
Final thoughts, final points?
We have seen a lot of really important, grandiose commitments made by some very powerful international actors at this COP in terms of their commitments to nuclear development. And I think all of the nuclear advocates here and, those who follow the pledge, both the uranium enrichment and the tripling nuclear, are going to be watching very closely to our world leaders to actually fulfill these promises. We will remember, even after this COP is over, the pledges that were made, the promises that were made, and we aim to hold them to it. So hopefully, by COP28, we will have seen some developments on water books and some reactors being built. So we don't forget what you promised here, and we're going to hold you to it. I'm speaking directly to politicians who might see our videos right now.
All right, Madison. So what if I have been following along with all of this and I got like a $20 bill just burning a hole in my pocket? Do you have any suggestions about how I might remedy that situation?
Yeah, Kirsten and my capacity to be here and our involvement with Generation Atomic is made completely possible by people who think that their contributions would make a difference in the nuclear advocacy space, specifically with Generation Atomic. So if you find yourself with the resources to be able to donate, or contribute to a cause that you think is important, I think Generation Atomic is, there's no other better place to put your money. And so, we are here because of people like you, and if you find that you have the resources to donate, please do.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time from some slightly different plaza at this massive venue.
Yes.
Thanks for supporting our work, and thanks for advocating for nuclear. Stay rad, and atoms for peace out.